Pests and diseases affecting Scotch bonnet pepper. Several pests and diseases affect Scotch bonnet pepper's plants. These include insects, mites, fungi, bacteria, and viruses. The pests which are particularly damaging to Scotch bonnet pepper are aphids, broad mite, gall midge, crickets, the cucumber beetle, pepper budworm and hornworm. Viral diseases are the most limiting factor to Scotch bonnet pepper production. Other diseases are fusarium wilt, southern blight, sclerotium wilt, anthracnose, bacterial spot and cercospora leaf spot. With the application of the measures outlined below, a good crop can be produced. High-quality seed is important to avoid plant diseases at the outset. Good nursery preparation is critical to give the plants the best chance from the beginning. Crop rotation can help to prevent the conditions for most of the diseases and pests that are likely to affect Scotch bonnet plants. Proper land preparation also reduces the likelihood of soil-borne diseases. Live barriers help to reduce aphid infestation. Many insect pests can be fought by using non-chemical means of control. Natural enemies, such as the ladybird and certain wasps, destroy some pests, and these should be encouraged. As far as possible, manage fields without the use of pesticides. Pests and control methods. Aphids. Aphids, commonly called plant lice, are small insects that are readily seen. They vary in color from yellowish-green to dark green, and are mostly found feeding on the underside of pepper leaves. Aphids pierce plant tissue and suck the sap. This weakens the plant and may cause leaves and twigs to become deformed. As the aphids feed, they pass out a sweet liquid called honeydew. Ants and other insects are attracted to this substance and feed on it. The ants transport aphids from plant to plant and drive away natural enemies, causing the aphids to spread. A black fungus called sooty mold sometimes grows on the honeydew and reduces the plant's capacity to make food. Aphids also transmit viral plant diseases. These can be very damaging to hot pepper production. Two major viruses spread by aphids in Jamaica are the potato virus Y, PVY, and the tobacco H virus, TEV. Growing control. Aphids may be prevented from spreading viruses into fields by planting a barrier crop, which is not a host of the virus, around the field. As the aphids feed on the barrier, the viruses become dislodged from their mouths, and they can no longer transfer them to the field. This gives the pepper field a longer productive life. Grass and plastic mulches also help in the control of aphids. The barrier crop, which should be a minimum of 1.8 meters, 6 feet, wide, should be planted around the boundary of the pepper field. It should not be planted at the normal spacing, but very close. If corn is used, plant at 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters, 6 in x 6 in spacing. A narrow opening of 60 centimeters, 2 feet, should be left in the barrier to enter and leave the field. Once the barrier crop height is at least 45 to 60 centimeters, 18 to 24 in, transplant your seedlings. Where it becomes necessary to use insecticides, dimethoate, or admire may be applied before fruit development. During fruiting, safer soap or malathion may be sprayed. In cases where peppers are being exported, other chemicals allowed by the importing country may be used. Chemicals such as abamectin and pegasus used for broad mite also control the spread of aphids. Broad mite. The broad mite is a very small insect-like pest, but it is not actually an insect. It is of the spider and tick family. The fully grown broad mite resembles very small ticks or grass lice when viewed with a microscope, as it cannot usually be seen with the naked eye. The adult broad mite has 8 legs, while insects have 6. The mite may be carried from one plant to another, or from field to field, by the wind, by insects, or even by people and animals. You can Tell when the broad mite is present in the field by the damage it does to the plants. Mites will cause leaf deformation and curling. Affected leaves may appear rusty, bronze, brownish, especially on their lower surface. These will be smaller in size and will eventually fall off. If there is severe broad mite infestation, the entire plant will become stunted. Flowers will fall off and fruits will be small, deformed and discolored. Rusty. Broad mite leaf damage is sometimes mistaken for virus damage. If in doubt, seek the assistance of your extension officer or plant protection specialist. Control. Like insects, the broad mite can become resistant to chemicals after continuous exposure to them. The best way to control this pest is, therefore, to apply good field sanitation and farm husbandry practices. From the beginning, broad mite can attack pepper plants from the seedling stage to maturity. Check for symptoms when pepper plants are in the nursery, as it is important to have clean, healthy seedlings for transplanting. Infested seedlings will lead to infested pepper fields. Where only a small number of seedlings are affected, they should be removed and destroyed by placing them in a sealed plastic bag, or in soapy water for 5 minutes. If the problem is severe, seedlings may be treated with Pegasus, Vertimec, or Top Cop before transplanting. It is important to note that the broad mite has many host crops, including sweet potato, Irish potato, tomato, cowpeas, beans, mango, citrus, avocado, coffee, papaya and guava. Where possible, peppers should be grown away from these crops, otherwise care should be taken to ensure that mites are not present on these hosts to provide a ready source of infestation. A non-host crop such as corn may be planted to reduce broad mite infestation by using it as a barrier around the field, as an intercrop, or in a rotation cycle, where only few plants or portions of plants are badly infested. The affected portions may be pruned and burnt, or packaged and sealed in plastic bags to prevent the spread of the infestation. Spraying should begin when young leaves appear bronze in color. Vertimec, Pegasus and Top Cop have proven effective against broad mite, but these should not be used routinely, only when necessary. Top Cop should be rotated with Vertimec or Pegasus. Vertimec is less harmful to beneficial mites than Pegasus. Gall midge. The gall midge is a small fly resembling a mosquito. It is difficult to see it in the field, but its damage is obvious in bearing pepper fields. These tiny insects lay their eggs in the stems of maturing pepper fruits. The eggs hatch and the young gall midge, called a maggot, feeds under the skin of the stem, causing the tissue to dry out and to develop irregular brown patches on the stems. Damage is greatest on mature, green and ripening fruits. It is important to note that although the gall midge does not affect the farmer's hot pepper yield, peppers cannot be exported to the lucrative U.S. market unless they are fumigated. Fumigation is an added expense to exporters and causes fruits to break down much sooner than normal. Control. The gall midge population and the damage it causes in the field can be reduced by using the following good farming practices. Destroy all plants at the end of each crop, plowing soil and ensuring that it is fully turned, so that the insects are either buried or exposed. Where possible, planting new pepper fields some distance upwind from old existing fields. Practicing clean harvesting by removing all mature fruits, ripe and green, from bearing trees. While pepper plants are in the field, weeds should be promptly removed. Rejected and fallen fruits should be collected and buried or burnt to kill pests, and crop rotation should be practiced using corn and legumes.